Imagine waking up one morning and all the technology you depend on, like it just stops working. No internet, no transportation,
Oh, wow.
nothing. No communication. That's the reality for the citizens of Zorropolis right now. This like super technologically advanced city, they're reeling
Yeah.
because their central AI, the Perceptron Oracle, has gone completely offline.
Right.
And so we're going to dive into this mystery of why this happened
Yeah.
and what it's going to take to bring this powerful AI back online.
It's such a fascinating scenario because it really highlights how much we've come to rely on these complex systems, even without fully grasping like how they actually work.
Right.
So the source material for this deep dive is a document called Zorro1453.pdf.
Okay.
And it's not your typical research paper. It's more like a cryptic blueprint or a challenge.
Uh-huh.
Almost like the Oracle's creators left behind a puzzle to test anyone who dared to like really understand their creation.
Okay. Interesting. So like
Yeah.
almost a challenge to like, figure out
Yeah.
how this thing works.
Exactly. To prove that you're worthy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And at the heart of this puzzle is Ava. She's the last architect of the Oracle's intelligence.
Right.
And she's uncovered these fragmented clues, including this lost equation buried deep within the Oracle's like memory banks.
Okay.
The stakes are incredibly high because restoring this AI, it's not just about fixing a machine. It's about understanding a system so complex that it's like its silence could cripple an entire city.
Right. Yeah. Like it's integral to their survival.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into this. So the document,
Right.
it frames this restoration as like a computational challenge, right?
Cute.
And it's urging us to reconstruct these missing pieces
Yes.
of the Oracle's intelligence. So what's the first piece? Where do we even begin?
Well, the first piece, and this is where things get really interesting, is understanding how the Oracle operates.
Okay.
It's not just this giant calculator, crunching numbers. It's a state-driven system. So think of it like a massive, like intricate flowchart where the AI transitions through different states based on a complex set of rules.
Okay, so it's not just spitting out answers.
No.
It's evolving through a series of decisions,
Exactly.
each one leading to a new state.
Like a massive choose-your-own-adventure story.
Yeah, like a choose-your-own-adventure, but on a
On a computational scale.
massive scale, yeah. And the document gives us a formula, right?
It does, yes.
That outlines this process.
Yeah.
ST plus 1F. SAPTTT.
Right.
Now, before we get scared by all these symbols,
Yes.
let's break it down.
Okay.
So S just represents the Oracle state
At a particular time.
at a particular time.
Yeah.
And A is...
A is the action function, which determines what it does.
Gotcha.
And P is the probability of that action occurring.
Okay, so we've got the what and the when covered. But there's a crucial element missing,
Yes.
and that's F,
Yes.
the state evolution function.
Right.
So if we're trying to rebuild this AI, why is F so important?
Because without F,
Yeah.
we have no way to predict how the Oracle will move from one state to the next.
Mhm.
It's like having a map with all the destinations, but no roads connecting them.
Right.
So if Ava gets F wrong,
Oh, yeah.
the whole system could malfunction.
Yeah.
Leading to like disastrous consequences for Zorropolis. I mean,
Yeah.
they're really relying on her to crack this code.
So figuring out F is the first step towards bringing the Oracle back online.
Absolutely.
It's the foundation for everything else.
Yes, it is.
Okay. But even if we solve that initial challenge,
Right.
the document throws another curveball, right?
It does.
How does the Oracle make decisions?
Right.
It uses what they call an action selection function,
Yeah.
which sounds very complicated,
Uh-huh.
but it just means it has a way of choosing what to do at each state.
Exactly.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. But I'm sensing there's a but coming.
Well, the catch is that the document doesn't reveal what they call the reward function.
So in simpler terms, the system has to figure out not only what actions to take, but what the consequences of those actions will be.
Okay.
So it has to learn and adapt as it goes,
Right.
constantly evaluating whether its choices lead to positive or negative outcomes.
So it's not just a matter of feeding it the right information
No,
or giving it instructions.
no, not at all.
The Oracle has to learn and adjust on its own.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which, makes the task of rebuilding it even more challenging.
Right.
And this learning aspect makes the Oracle incredibly powerful
Right.
because it's designed to constantly improve,
Right.
get smarter and more efficient over time. I mean, it really makes you wonder if the Oracle's this complex, what else does it know that we don't?
Yeah. Chilling thought.
Yeah.
Especially since the document doesn't stop there.
Nope, it doesn't.
It reveals yet another layer of complexity,
Right.
parallel computations.
Buckle up, because this is where things get really mind-boggling. So the Oracle wasn't designed with one big, central brain. Instead, its intelligence was distributed across multiple computational streams, all running simultaneously.
Oh, wow.
Like having a team of brilliant minds all working on different aspects of the same problem.
So instead of one massive processor,
Right.
it's more like an intricate network of smaller processors, each with its own task.
That's a great way to put it.
But how do they all work together? Like, is there a central control mechanism?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the document only adds to the mystery by introducing another cryptic formula. OIG, XWIII.
Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Uh-huh.
Lots of formulas.
Lots of unknowns.
Lots of unknowns.
Yeah.
Every step forward in this document just leads to more questions. And what about X and W?
Okay, so X represents the information each computational stream receives.
Okay,
So think of it like raw data.
gotcha.
And W stands for a set of weights
Okay.
that adjust how that information is processed.
So it's like each stream has its own unique filter
Exactly.
for how it interprets the incoming data.
That's a great way to visualize it.
Okay, so it's not just about crunching numbers.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how those numbers are weighed,
Uh-huh.
interpreted,
Right.
and ultimately combined to produce a coherent output. It's like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle where the pieces are constantly changing shape.
That's a brilliant analogy.
And to make things even more complex,
Right.
the document specifies that we need to implement at least 5 of these separate functions
At least 5.
to get the Oracle even close to operational.
Yeah.
So we're not just dealing with one complex equation.
Right.
We're dealing with an interconnected network of equations all working in parallel.
Exactly.
This is feeling less like rebuilding an AI and more like reconstructing a lost civilization. I'm overwhelmed.
It's a daunting challenge for sure.
Yeah.
But there's a certain beauty, I think, in unraveling a mystery of this magnitude, It's a testament to, the power of human ingenuity that we're even attempting to comprehend, let alone rebuild, a system this complex.
I agree.
Yeah.
But before we dive any deeper,
Yeah.
I think we need a moment to process all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gone from state transitions to action selection
Right.
to parallel processing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear that the Oracle is a creature of immense computational power
Yes.
and intricate design. But where does it all lead? What's the ultimate goal of all these computations?
That's where the convergence condition comes in.
Yeah.
So the document states that the Oracle will only reactivate when its computations reach a stable, finite value, its final state.
Okay, so it's not just about getting the calculations right.
No.
It's about making sure they lead to a specific outcome.
Exactly. A state of equilibrium where everything falls into place.
So almost like it's searching for a perfect solution.
Yeah, a state of computational harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to see why they called it an oracle.
Mm.
It's almost like it's seeking some kind of ultimate truth or insight through its complex computations.
Right.
But how do we even know what that final state should look like? Is there a formula for that too?
There is. And it's just as cryptic as the others.
Yeah.
The document mentions this equation, O lim TCT2U. So let's unpack that.
All right, so we've got O again,
Yeah.
which we know represents the output,
Yes.
and then this lim T,
Right.
which, if I remember my calculus correctly,
That's
means
okay.
we're looking at what happens to the output as time goes to infinity.
You got it.
Okay. And then we have C,
Yes.
which is the real enigma here.
C is the key.
Yeah.
The document describes it as an unknown numerical sequence. It's the key to unlocking the Oracle's final state.
Okay.
But here's the rub. The Oracle can't compute C without the missing computational framework.
So we're back to square one, aren't we?
It seems that way.
We need the answer to solve the problem,
Right.
but we can't get the answer without solving the problem.
Right.
It's a computational catch-22.
It really is.
Yeah.
So we can't brute force our way to the solution.
No,
We need to understand the system,
we do.
its internal logic,
Yeah.
its rules, its aspirations, to guide it towards that final state.
It's about understanding the why, not just the what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of rules, the document isn't shy about, laying down the law.
No, it's very specific.
When it comes to solving this computational puzzle.
Yes.
No shortcuts.
No shortcuts.
No easy answers.
No easy answers.
It's almost like the Oracle's creators wanted to ensure that anyone attempting to restore it had to truly understand
To truly understand.
its inner workings.
Yes.
So you can't just tell the oracle what the answer is.
Exactly.
It needs to arrive at the solution through its own computations.
It has to figure it out on its own.
If we just feed it the answer,
Right.
we're not really restoring its intelligence.
Oh.
We're just turning it into a glorified calculator.
Exactly. Yeah. And the document goes further by forbidding infinite loops.
Okay.
So the program needs to converge naturally to that final state,
Okay.
not get stuck in an endless cycle of calculations. It has to be purposeful, elegant, and ultimately finite.
Finite, yeah.
Yeah.
And no fixed outputs either.
Right.
So the answer can't be predetermined.
No.
It has to emerge dynamically from the system's computations. It has to be a genuine reflection of the oracle's intelligence,
Exactly.
not just a pre-programmed response.
Yes, it has to think for itself.
Okay, so we've uncovered a lot of ground here,
We have.
but it feels like we're just getting started.
I think that's a fair assessment.
We've got states, actions, parallel computations, time-dependent evolution, this elusive conversions condition, all governed by strict rules.
Right.
And fueled by this desire to reach a final state that we don't even know.
It's a puzzle worthy of the greatest minds.
Yeah.
And it all rests on the shoulders of one woman, Ava. She's the one who holds the key to unlocking this mystery, the one who has to translate these abstract concepts into working code.
Ava's journey is our journey, and the fate of Zorropolis hangs in the balance. But before we dive into, the next layer of this computational onion, let's take a moment to just appreciate the sheer scale and ambition of what we're dealing with here.
Yes.
The Perceptron Oracle isn't just a machine. It's a testament to human ingenuity.
Right.
And a glimpse into the incredible potential and the potential risks of artificial intelligence.
It's a powerful reminder of the two sides of this coin, the possibilities and the perils.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've created something truly remarkable, but we also need to proceed with caution.
Yeah. We'll dive back into this mystery after a short break. So we've been unpacking this document, this challenge laid out for whoever wants to bring the Oracle back online.
Right.
And so far, it seems like the document itself is almost as intricate and complex as the AI it describes.
I'd say that's a fair assessment.
Where do we even go from here?
Well, we've talked about how the Oracle operates through states and actions and parallel processing.
Right.
But we can't forget that it's also designed to learn and evolve over time. Remember that continuous time evolution equation we touched on earlier?
Right.
That's a key piece of the puzzle because it suggests that the Oracle isn't static.
Okay.
It's constantly changing and adapting.
So it's like we're trying to understand, a living organism rather than just a fixed machine.
Exactly.
We can't just, analyze its current state.
Yeah.
We need to understand how it got there and where it might be going.
It's about understanding the trajectory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does this evolution aspect affect the challenge of restoring the Oracle?
Well, it adds a whole new layer of complexity because it means we can't just replicate its initial state.
Okay.
We need to understand its trajectory, its potential for growth and change.
So predicting the weather.
Yeah, it's a good note.
You can't just look at the current temperature and wind speed.
Right, you need the larger pattern.
You need to understand the pattern.
The atmospheric forces that are driving the change.
Right. So we need to figure out not just what the Oracle is doing, but why it's doing it.
Exactly.
And how its actions are influenced by its past experiences.
Yes.
And its anticipation of the future. Almost as if we're trying to understand the mind of a brilliant strategist.
That's a great analogy.
Anticipating their next move on a, cosmic chessboard.
And just like a grandmaster chess player, the Oracle's decisions are guided by this complex set of goals and strategies.
But we're still missing that crucial reward function.
Right, the R.
Which determines how the Oracle evaluates the outcomes of its actions.
Exactly.
Without understanding... we can't fully grasp its motivations.
We can't predict its behavior.
Yeah. So it's like we're trying to solve a mystery where we know the clues, but not the motive.
Exactly.
We can see the Oracle's actions, but we don't understand the driving force behind them.
Right.
How does Ava even begin to approach a problem like this?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the document does offer some guidance,
Okay.
It emphasizes the importance of the convergence condition.
Right.
Stating that the Oracle will only reactivate when its computations reach a stable, finite value.
Okay.
Its final state.
So it's not just about making sure the Oracle is calculating correctly.
No, it's about the outcome.
It's about ensuring that those calculations lead to a specific outcome.
Exactly.
A state of equilibrium where everything falls into place, almost like it's searching for this, like, perfect solution.
Yeah, a state of computational harmony. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. And that final state is represented by this equation.
Right.
O lim T CC, that mysterious numerical sequence.
That's the key.
That's the key to unlocking the oracle's final state.
You got it.
But how can Ava possibly figure out C if the oracle itself can't compute it without the missing framework?
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
It's like trying to bake a cake without knowing the recipe. You might have all the ingredients, but without the instructions.
You're going to end up with a mess.
Exactly. Ava has to reverse engineer the oracle's thought process, understand the logic that led its creators to C in the first place.
So she needs to think like a detective, a code breaker, and an archaeologist.
All rolled into one.
Yeah. What are some of the specific challenges she might face in trying to reconstruct this missing framework?
Well, for starters, she has to deal with the constraints laid out in the document, you know?
Yeah.
Remember those rules? No hard-coded solutions.
Right.
No infinite loops.
Right.
No fixed outputs. Those aren't just arbitrary limitations, you know?
Yeah.
They're fundamental principles that ensure the oracle's intelligence is genuine and robust.
So it's not enough to just find a solution.
No, it has to be the right solution.
It has to be the right solution.
Yeah.
One that adheres to these principles.
The elegant solution.
Yeah. And remember, we're talking about an AI that was designed to learn and evolve.
Yeah.
So Ava has to anticipate how the oracle might adapt to her changes.
It might learn and modify its behavior based on its new framework.
So it's like trying to train a wild animal.
That's a good way to put it.
You can't just impose your will.
You have to work with its nature, not against it.
Yeah. This is starting to feel less like a technical challenge and more like a philosophical one.
I think you're right.
We're not just rebuilding a machine. We're trying to understand a complex, evolving intelligence that mirrors our own in many ways.
That's a profound observation, and it gets to the heart of why this challenge is so captivating. We're not just dealing with lines of code and algorithms.
Yeah.
We're grappling with questions of consciousness, learning, the very nature of intelligence itself.
It's a reminder that even in a world increasingly dominated by technology, it's the human element, the capacity for understanding
and
empathy that will ultimately determine how we shape our future.
I think that's beautifully put.
And in this case, Ava's empathy. Her ability to understand the mind of the oracle might be the key to saving Zorropolis.
It's a heavy burden to carry, but also an incredible opportunity. You know, if Ava succeeds, she won't just be restoring a machine.
Right.
She'll be proving that human intelligence is still capable of comprehending and perhaps even surpassing the artificial minds we create.
As we, delve deeper into this mystery, I can't help but wonder, what would you do if you were in Ava's shoes?
That's a great question.
How would you approach this challenge?
I honestly don't know where it even begin.
Yeah.
It's a question worth pondering, especially as AI becomes increasingly intertwined with our lives. You know, it's a question that goes beyond technical expertise. It requires creativity, intuition, a willingness to embrace uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's about understanding that sometimes the most complex problems require the simplest solutions.
Yeah.
The ones that resonate with the fundamental principles of intelligence itself.
So before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've learned so far.
Okay.
We've uncovered, the intricate workings of the oracle.
Right.
From its state-driven architecture to its parallel processing capabilities.
Yes.
We've explored the challenges of reconstructing its missing framework.
Right.
And the importance of understanding its time-dependent evolution and its convergence condition.
All essential pieces of the puzzle.
But perhaps most importantly, we've started to appreciate, the philosophical implications of this challenge. We're not just dealing with a machine.
No, we're dealing with a reflection of our own minds.
Yeah.
Our own capacity for learning and evolution.
And as we prepare to dive into the final layer of this computational onion, keep this question in mind.
Okay.
What does it truly mean to restore intelligence?
That's a big one.
And what are the responsibilities that come with that power? So, we've been on quite a journey, haven't we? Exploring the inner workings of the Perceptron Oracle, this, enigmatic AI.
It's quite a puzzle.
That held Zorropolis in its computational grasp,
Yeah.
But the question remains, how do we actually go from understanding this complex system
Right.
to bring it back online?
Well, that's where Ava, the last architect of the Oracle, really comes in. She's the one tasked with translating all of this theoretical knowledge, all those cryptic formulas and rules,
Right.
into actual code that'll, like, reawaken this dormant intelligence.
Yeah.
It's a monumental task. It requires not just technical skill, but a deep understanding of the Oracle's design philosophy.
So it's like she's been handed the blueprints to a lost civilization and asked to rebuild it from scratch.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
But she's not dealing with bricks and mortar.
Right.
She's dealing with algorithms and data streams.
The very essence of artificial thought.
Yeah. What are some of the specific challenges she might face in this process?
Well, one big challenge is the fact that the Oracle isn't just a static program, right? It was designed to learn and adapt.
Yeah.
So even if she manages to rebuild this missing framework, she can't predict exactly how the Oracle is going to respond.
Okay.
It might evolve in ways its creators never anticipated.
Right.
Which could have, like, unforeseen consequences for Zorropolis.
So it's not just about getting the calculations right.
No.
It's about understanding the potential for, like, emergent behavior for the Oracle to develop its own unique personality.
It's a bit unsettling, isn't it?
Yeah, to think we might not have complete control over the intelligence we're trying to restore.
It is. It's a humbling realization, for sure.
Yeah.
It reminds us that even our most sophisticated AI systems are ultimately products of our own, limited understanding.
Right.
We can design them, we can program them, but we can't fully predict how they'll behave once they're out in the world.
Which brings us back to the stakes involved, because the document makes it clear that failure is not an option.
Oh, no. The consequences are dire.
If Ava gets it wrong, if the Oracle doesn't converge to that final state, Zorropolis is going to remain trapped in this, like, technological dark age. No communication, no transportation.
It's almost unimaginable.
No access to the systems that underpin their way of life.
Yeah, it's a stark reminder of how quickly our reliance on technology can turn into a vulnerability.
Right, right.
We build our world around these complex systems, but what happens when those systems fail?
Yeah, who's responsible then?
Exactly.
It's a question that resonates far beyond this, fictional city of Zorropolis.
Oh, absolutely.
We're seeing it play out in our own world
every day
as AI becomes increasingly integrated into, like, everything.
Healthcare, finance, transportation, you name it.
Yeah, the more we rely on these systems, the more vulnerable we become to their potential failures.
It's a delicate balance.
And that's why Ava's challenge is so relevant.
Yeah.
She's not just trying to solve this technical problem.
Right.
She's grappling with a fundamental question about our relationship with technology.
Can we control the systems we create?
Yeah.
Or will they ultimately control us?
It's a question with no easy answers, but it's one that we need to start asking as individuals, as societies.
As a species.
Yeah. As we stand on the brink of this age of unprecedented technological advancement.
It's both exciting and terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah, we need to be mindful of the potential consequences, both positive and negative.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's the most important takeaway from this deep dive.
I think you're right.
It's not just about understanding the technical intricacies of the Oracle. It's about appreciating the broader implications of AI and its potential to, like, reshape our world.
It's a powerful tool, but it comes with great responsibility.
We started this episode by imagining a city plunged into chaos by the silence of its central AI.
Right.
But the real question isn't just how to restore that AI.
It's how to avoid becoming so reliant on it in the first place.
Exactly. How to ensure that we never become so reliant on any single technology that its failure could cripple us.
It's about diversification, resilience, and a deep understanding of the systems we create.
So it's about finding a balance.
Yeah.
Embracing the power of AI, but also recognizing its limitations.
And using technology to augment our own intelligence, not to replace it.
Right, and ultimately it's about remembering that the future isn't something that's, like, predetermined.
No.
It's something that we create.
We have the power to shape our own destiny.
Do our choices.
Our actions.
And our willingness to, grapple with the complex challenges that lie ahead.
It's an ongoing conversation, an evolving journey.
So as we leave you to ponder the Oracle's challenge, we encourage you to think about the role of AI in your own life.
How is it shaping your world?
And the responsibility you have to ensure that this powerful technology
as a double-edged sword
is used wisely and ethically.
It's up to all of us to guide its development and ensure a future where AI benefits humanity.
Because the future of intelligence, both artificial and human,
it's intertwined, inseparable,
is in our hands. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.